Hi folks, I despair at the sound on this Logitech webcam. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Even had a suggestion that because we're under the Gatwick airport flight path, that could possibly electrically affect the recording. But I made loads of little short ones yesterday just to test it, and it was fine. But the video I did was rubbish. So I'm going to do another sort of a meadowy scene. I'm using a bit of blue and a bit of black to start with. I've got some flow medium, so I want a fairly low horizon. So and a big sky. So we'll just put in some trees here. Go across. Meadow type of, I love doing meadows. Just a bit of blue and black here. Just an impressionist sort of scene. I did one that just wasn't good enough for the sound yesterday, so I fobbed it off with my patrons in Patreon. They're more forgiving. Okay, now because I'm going to paint light green and ochre, so I'm going to add ochre to this, yellow ochre to this. So I've got cadmium yellow pale, I've got light red, which is Griffin, which is an alkyd based paint, a bit of the yellow ochre out, ultramarine and black. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 basic colours plus black and white. So I'm going to put in a black and blue across this bit of the landscape here. I've primed this piece of watercolour paper. I won't tell you what I'm painting over because you quite liked it, but I didn't. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. The watercolours, that is. So we've got nice lot of contrast possibilities there. Let's add a bit of red in it as well. It's a bit dry because it's a alkyd based paint. I'm using a bit of flow medium mixed with a bit of linseed oil. Right, I'll give that brush a bit of a clean. I'm using a bit of toweling here, just to well, I don't use solvent to clean the brushes interim because it's not a very good thing to hold a petrol, a white spirit, turpentine, paraffin soaked rag under your nose. Right, let's put a bit of the sky in now, bit of white. I'm using black and grey, black and blue. I just put in a bit of cloud, or it could even be a bit of blue sky. But I like cloudy skies with light showing through. Just my preference. This does smell a bit petrochemical because of the flow medium, but I'm using it in preference to the walnut alkyd because I'm trying to preserve that. I'm trying to eke it out. I've got these mediums and I might as well use them. I've got a window open. It's a lovely day today. Okay, put a bit of light on there in there now. I'll clean that brush because I'm using light paint on there. So a bit of bit of ochre, bit of white, bit of red. So let's just get in some nice oily stuff, just bring it down onto those trees. See, by painting dark to start with, okay, so we'll just get some up here. Okay, let's I'm working around the webcam, which is about a foot in front of my face, but I don't want to go too close to it because it might, well, I might distort, but it hasn't. It's strange. It works, or it gets this interference, which is a real pain. Right, I'm quite happy with that, but as a basis, just blend it a little bit. I'm using a lot of oil, so oil is cheaper than oil paint. Right, let's get some more. Let's change that to a bit of blue in here, a bit of ultramarine, but not a deep blue, just a sky blue. I put quite a bit of gesso, well, homemade gesso, on this. That's polyfiller to the uninitiated. Right, okay, well, leave that alone for a minute. Let's let it dry for a bit. I want to put in this bluey green now. A bit of black, a bit of blue, a bit of yellow. And darken that. So blue, I don't want both sides to look the same. I've gone into too far into the middle there. So let's just bring that in there. A bit more blue. Okay. Just using a bit more black in here. I don't want this to be too similar to what I did yesterday, but then a lot of you will have seen it on Facebook. Let's just bring that up a bit higher there. Okay. Now let's get some nice meadowy type of grass. Ochre. A bit of red with it. Now you'll see why I put the dark in. It's really a tutorial in how to do a meadow. Let's vary it, a bit of green. Don't want this to go too high. Just work away until something happens. So every picture you'll find that it goes away from you after a while. You lose it. And I found that by painting a lot of dark colour on as a primer is a great way of being able to counter change. Right, let's just vary some of this meadow here. I'm going to put a lot of dark green in as well. I might even put a spire, church spire or something as a focal point somewhere in there. A bit of light. Using a lot of oil. That's the thing I love about oil paint, is the oil that we're using. Walnut oil, linseed, fast drying linseed oil. It's absolutely amazing the effects you can get with the oil paint, or the oil and oil paint. I can see lots of gesso in this. Right, let's get a bit more red. Just warm it up a little bit. Well, that's too red. Now I'll put darks back into that, but I'm going to go for some really dark greens now. Then I can superimpose my lights over it. So just black and yellow, more black. Like the silence is me not speaking. So I hope you can follow what I'm doing here. Let's get some darks back in here, because this is all sort of a grassy field. Right, we'll come back to that bottom bit in a minute. I might even put a bit of a pond in, but I want to get some lights. I'm going to open another window just to let me smell of this. Alright, so I've got a nice through draft from my loft room. Yeah, right, okay. Now I want some nice bright greens now. I can have different sort of a nice light on there. Yeah. Put some oil. Which what I want to avoid is the oil actually running down the paper. And I'm at about 70-degree angle. Mainly, I'd rather paint upright, but I've got to sort the camcorder out with a nice angle that's suitable for it. So we get a nice stippled lights on the top of the trees. Oh, that's gone wrong there. Don't like that. Clean the brush. Get in with my dark mix. Just to obliterate that. Right, now go back with that light. The paint stays where you put it, but you just as well. Just a little bit of warm here and there. We're just using this back of the brush. I'm just add a few reds to the mix there, just as a yeah. Now we've got a sort of a thick wood as well now. Now I can go back into some of the lights now in this meadow, but let's see if we can put in a bit of a wood though. Not wood. What am I talking about? A bit of a pond reflecting the sky. I'm going to go back over the sky in a minute, but I want those colours because I quite like them. So a bit of very light pale blue. Let's put it in there. So that adds another dimension to it. We've got the dark behind, but I want to just add a little bit of I want the bottom of this pond light, so that reflection there under those grasses and the slight hill registers as a pond. Okay. Now we'll start going in for some of the light in this. We'll put a bit of a light spot in there, but lighter, so that we can move away from the centre a little bit. Otherwise the composition sort of goes a bit wrong. Like greens. The ochre. Now for title for this sort of painting. I'll call this Mitcham Common, which is not very far from here. I painted 7 islands many times from photographs. I don't paint on the spot. On plein air, I like the comfort of my cups of tea and my nice studio. I've never really had much luck with it. It doesn't seem to suit me. I can't get past the carrying all the paraphernalia for oil painting. But all credit to those of you that do. Some great painters out there. We've got a great channel on Facebook, British Impressionists. Now I'll just put a few bits of, okay, there's a bit of gorse in there. Let's get a bit of alizarin, shall we? Just add that to the mix. See what, and we'll dilute it with quite a bit of white. All my brushes are sort of very overused. So let's get a bit of white in with that alizarin, a bit of blue. Sure, I like the brush. I want a more spiky brush. That noise is me hitting my little lid with the it adds something else to the painting, doesn't it? Get some of that a bit lighter. But no heather on Mitcham Common, but there's heather on Ashdown Forest. The New Forest, but I haven't got any hills to show, so we'll just call it heather in the meadow. Now, it would be very difficult to do any blades of grass or anything, single bits and pieces, because there's so much oil on the paper. It would, on the surface, can't really call it paper, it's Fabriana, £130, primed on both sides. I've just put a few bits of white, I think, just to fill in some a bit of cow parsley. I don't know if cow parsley exists in the same space as heather. Now it needs more light in there now, so we're going to go very faint. I haven't got any oil left. get that bit of light coming through here. Okay, let's clean the brush and go back into the sky now. Right, now no, that's too white. I mean too ochre. Just soften them down underneath here a little bit. I love doing skies. It's not that I find them easy, it's that I've done a lot of them and I didn't quit when I couldn't do them. Well, alright, let's just soften all that around there. That big cloud. A little bit of impasto there. Right. Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do now is to try to put a couple of figures in. To do that I'll need to use my marl stick. So I put, well, I'll move that up to there. Find my stick. Oh, this is a long one. I'm going to use a nice bit of red as a complement to all those greens. There. Get a white hat on, a sort of off-white hat on. Just make that a little bit orangey. Well, they're not the best figures, but they're there. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope the sound is okay. I've done the best I can at the moment. Right, so we've done that in 38 minutes, 37 minutes, 39 minutes. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye for now. No, I should put that in a mount, shouldn't I? I should put that in a mount, so I'll just put some bit of masking tape just on the corners that aren't oily. Take those two off, put that one off. I really do like doing meadows. I know a lot of you do like them. Right, I'm going to just have to move the camera. Right, it could be a bit wobbly, so I can. Oops. It's very difficult to right, now if I just move this up a bit. Right, come back a bit further. Right, that's about, I can't get any better than that, I don't think. So there we are, meadow. Just a meadow. We've got a pond, we've got some light coming across here. Maybe we can even add a bit more. Right, okay folks, bye bye.